Guten Tag, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Meat and 3 Veg. Today we are making a vegetarian from scratch Orecchiette Yuzu Mushroom Pasta. The kind of flour using for this is actually it's a particular type of semolina flour. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a very unique texture to it, which is perfect for this kind of endeavor. So that's what we're going to be using today. The first thing is we need to measure out some stuff. So for this, the ratio is 500 grams of semolina flour to 300 grams of warm water. I'm going to use 200 grams of flour, which means we need 120 grams of warm water. So we need 120 grams, that's what we're saying here. So get to about 100 grams. Yep, I'm gonna add 20 mils of cold water. All right, that should do it. There we go. I'm just gonna put this on the chopping board for mixing. Makes a little bit of a mountain. And just like any other pasta, we're gonna make a well in the middle. And we're going to start incorporating this in. So this pasta we had at a place in the city of Sydney called Luke's Kitchen. It's actually a hotel restaurant. It's made by, it's this restaurant run by this guy called Luke. He does a pretty good job. Honestly, out of all the dishes I've had there, this one definitely takes the cake. My missus is vegetarian and she absolutely loved it. I, as a meat eater, primarily, absolutely enjoyed it. To the point where I felt compelled to actually find this recipe myself or recreate it myself once they took it off the menu, because that was such a blow to everybody. So in the process of finding this recipe, I also actually decided to make my own flour, make my own pasta as well. I do have a pasta machine that I rarely ever make, like, egg pasta noodles, just because it's a lot of ingredients, well, not really a lot of ingredients, but a lot of effort, a lot of cleaning. Which I'm not a huge fan of, and it's a long process, right? Whereas this recipe, which is just literally 2 ingredients, is kind of right up my alley when it comes to any kind of dough work or flour work. So I'm just gonna knead this until it is, I don't know if you guys have seen that TikTok channel with a guy, I swear he's French or something, keeps using the word homogenized. That's basically what we're after. We're looking for this to be homogenized, and then we'll be ready to kind of proof it a bit. So yeah, so let's just get everything incorporated. Probably should have put a wet cloth underneath this chopping board so it doesn't slide around as much, but I've made my bed and now I just need to sleep in it. You can add a bit of salt at this point as well, but our pasta is going to be grabbing salt anyway, so it's not really necessary. This is now done. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up in some cling wrap and let it sit in the fridge for probably about an hour. 2 hours.
2,000 years later.
All right, so look, the semolina dough has been proofing for about an hour now. I'm quite happy with it. I'm ready to make some pasta. So I'm going to take it out of the wrap. It's quite interesting. It's a little bit sticky, which is to be expected. So we're going to now form this into our orecchiette pasta. I'm going to need a little bit more flour to make a dusting surface. I'm also going to need any kind of knife, bread knife or butter knife, sorry, will do. Butter knife, not bread knife. And we're going to be making this by hand. So let me just grab a little bit of flour, make the surface. Excellent. And we're just going to be rolling this out. Let me just, actually we don't need this much flour as of right now. We need it for a bit later. I'll move it to the side a bit. Okay, so don't need all of this actually. It's too much dough. Work with this for now. A manageable amount. So this is the kind of thickness that we want, right? This kind of thickness here. And then what we'll do is we'll cut off bits about this size, right? Size, just to make sure that the size is correct. Grab your butter knife, go from one corner, you press and you roll and you use your finger to keep this open so it doesn't stick. Once you've done that, then you just turn it inside out. That's your orecchiette. We're going with this size. Same thing as before, go from one corner, press down and roll. And just turn it inside out. That's your orecchiette. I'm just going to make all of these. So this will probably be caught up in a time lapse. Okay, awesome. Now this is where we dust it all over. Now, normally I would actually dry this for a little bit, but I don't really have time today, so I'm just going to use it, and that's perfectly okay. So, core part of this dish require a bit of garlic. So we're just going to prep some garlic. Some people say to go in with a cold pan. We can do that today. Get my garlic spread out in there. This is going to make 2 portions. Add a bit of olive oil. I'm going to turn this up. I want this on a low temperature while this simmers. So we'll get some pepper in here. I want chunky pepper for this. I'm going to open the mill. I want really chunky pepper so you can really bite into it. Now, normally mushrooms have a lot of moisture in them, but these are rehydrated mushrooms, so they're going to have moisture regardless. So we're going to put them in a little bit later so that they don't get absolutely destroyed. Just going to squeeze out any excess moisture gently first. That'll help it, that'll go a long way. Got some Parmesan cheese here as well, which we're using shortly. As this is a yuzu pasta, we're going to finish it with some yuzu lime juice. And that's going to give it that final kick of acidity. So you can see how the garlic is starting to brown a bit. So this is a good time to turn up the temperature. Crank this a bit higher. Going to go in with the mushrooms. This is going to reduce the heat in the pan so that the garlic doesn't burn. More than that, I'm going to give this a mix as well. Just going to stop everything from overcooking. Then we're going to hit it with a bit of salt as well. Draw out some extra moisture. Take it off the heat. Turn it down a bit. Slowly. We're going to put this into the pasta water. Good. The garlic's, some bits, very small bits, are getting a little bit crispy, which is okay still, not the end of the world. We're just going to do some off the heat cooking. Just totally fine. Go down even more on the heat. Just a little bit more. Just in the eye of the beholder, I guess. And then you're going to deglaze it with wine. Pasta's nearly done. Most of it's floating. Another minute. My pasta's done, which is great. I'm just going off the heat. Going in with the deglaze. That's what we need. Once with the white wine, you can smell that white wine burning off, which is good. I'm going to cut up some garlic while I'm at this. This is the finishing garlic. This one's just going to get absolutely diced into oblivion. I don't overbite into a chunk. It's too strong. Great. There. I can still smell the wine, so we're not quite there yet. This has already become a slight emulsion now from the wine itself, which is really good. This step was the bit that I was missing in my earlier trials of recreating this recipe and then also tweaking it myself. If you just make it like an aglio e olio, it's a little bit too oily for my liking. So that's why the double deglaze really just removes a lot of that oil concept out of the flavor profile. That mouthfeel changes drastically. Next round ready to go in. Mushroom stock. I want this to bubble down and away. In the meantime, this is the pasta. It's been cooked. It's got a lot of bounce to it. Smells delicious. I didn't actually use any salt in this. It's pasta water, which I could. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to season this separately. So we're going to really turn this up so this boils off fast. Let this just boil off. See, there's nothing stuck to the pan at all. It's so clean. All that flavor is now solidly picked up into the liquid. And once we reduce the liquid, it just concentrates that flavor profile. Now it's almost already a sauce. Quite crazy. There we go, it's really sizzling now, which is what we want. Now we've got a fond building. Crazy, crazy yummy. All right, my pasta's going in now. Along with some pasta sauce, some pasta water. There we go. Give it a toss. It's going to make a bit of a mess, but that's okay. The act of tossing and all the squishy sounds you hear just encourage the emulsion to be made. And you can see how it's thickened up quite a bit, and it is a sauce now, which is amazing. We're just going to reduce that down slightly more. Hit it with a touch of salt. This is when we add the yuzu in. And that's it. Pasta's done. Ready to serve. So I'm going to plate this up. I'll just plate it up on one plate. Okay. A couple of bit of raw garlic. That's it. And there you have it. I'll put some cheese on separately, just for myself. My missus doesn't quite like cheese that much, so there you go. Here we go, finished product. Mushroom Yuzu Orecchiette homemade. Thanks for watching.